Yo, people, what's good, man? Welcome back to my channel, man. I'm here to give you my post-match reaction for Wolves. Watch it, enjoy it, like, share, subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed already. I'm on the road to 10K, so please, 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 if you ain't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you ain't smashed that like button, smash that like button. Please take me out of algorithm hell. I told you about this already. Take me out of algorithm hell. That's going to be my banner for the next couple of weeks. But listen, we're here to talk about Spurs, man. We keep going. We keep going. We keep moving. That's 7 points out of a possible nine. Yeah. Relatively good start to the season. And what makes it even better is that these were three matches that we got 0 points in last year. So we've already got a 7 point swing on ourselves from last season. But listen, it wasn't the most convincing win. It was very much a game of two halves. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It was a game of two halves. I think Wolves, they looked really good in the first half. Um, they played well. They were the better side. I felt we started off okay. I felt like from up until around minute 20 to 25, I felt, yeah, it was even. They weren't exactly dominating possession. I felt like we were trying, but zero attempts at that point in time. And I felt from like minute 25 onwards, they just took over the game. They pinned us back a lot more than we would have liked. They took way better care of the ball. Their midfielders, especially, I think a special shout out has to go to Ruben Neves. I thought he was class today. I thought their midfield, they just used the ball better. When you look at the stats as well, territorial advantage was split 50-50 in terms of possession. But what you would have seen in the first half was that Wolves just simply moved the ball better. Yeah, their midfield moved the ball better. Their defense kept pretty tight to our attackers and didn't really give us much room to maneuver. They beat our press with ease, playing out from the back. Our press was pathetic in the first half, but they beat it with ease. Um, their midfielders were showing our midfielders how to play on the ball. I felt like Bentancur, he was really bad in the first half, and I didn't think Højbjerg was that good in the first half as well. I think he was better than Bentancur, but Ben 10 was really bad, man. Chasing shadows, leaving gaps, and just not winning the ball back, half-hearted presses. And then when we had the ball, and this goes for the whole team, we were way too timid, way too coward, we were way too cowardly in possession. The back three as well, I felt, or the back five, I thought they defended well. Perisic looked the brightest player that we had in the first half, in my opinion, but it was slim pickings, man. Sun was awful. But yeah, back on the back, the actual defense, Ben Davies just flopping basic passes to Perisic, just the easy pass down the line to Perisic, and it was getting intercepted by Johnny. I felt like even Dyer, just hopeless passes into the left channel that were just not accurate at all. Yeah, we just didn't really take good care of that ball, man, just giving it away recklessly. And I felt like Wolves showed us how to use that ball well in the first half. But as always with Wolves, or as typical with Wolves, when we've seen it over the past couple of seasons, they are quite toothless. Yeah, they used the ball well. They were definitely the better side in the first half, but they didn't really create many meaningful chances. They didn't create many meaningful chances. They had 12 attempts to our one in the first half, and not once did I feel like we were under serious threat up until the end of the first half, where Neves actually picked out a nice pass, spotted Matthias Nunes' run, and he had a header that, if he had scored, he would have done really well to score, because that wasn't a clear opportunity. And then, of course, the Davison Sanchez Bozo moment. Sanchez, who actually had a really good game for us. He had a really good game today. I think he was one of our best players, but he had one of those typical Bozo moments that potentially almost could have cost us. But Guedes, yeah, it just wasn't as sharp. But yeah, man, I think we Wolves, yeah, they gave a good account of themselves, man, but they didn't really work us. Like Lloris had to make what? How many saves? How many saves did Lloris make in the first half? Like two saves. One was from a long range Neves shot, and that he caught comfortably. So yeah, I felt like our defense in isolated moments, we defended anything they had to throw at us. I felt like we dealt with Neto quite well. I thought that we dealt with Guedes quite well. Pedence, obviously playing in the false nine role, it's not really his type of role. I didn't think he had much of a say in the game, to be honest. But Wolves as a unit, they were good, man. Collins was really good defensively in the first half. Kilman really good defensively in the first half. I felt like Ait Nori was trying to do his thing on that side as well. So Wolves gave a good account on themselves in the first half, man. But yeah, just lacked any sort of clear opportunity to actually breach our defense. Like they couldn't create that they couldn't manufacture that clear chance, and they didn't really have the people on the team to take any chances. So in short, Wolves were really good in the first half, and we were really bad. We were bad. Our energy was off. We were so sluggish. Our use of the ball was poor. Our key performers weren't in the game. Um, we were way too passive in possession, way too passive. Half time comes now. Conte fires a rocket up their ass because for me, the second half, you saw a completely different side, a completely different side, completely different side. And I loved it, man. Like at half time, I looked at it and I said, yeah, we're not playing well, but I think we all know what we need to do here. Yeah. I said it. All it takes is just 50% more energy in our performance. And this game is there to win because it was there to see. We have the players to do damage to Wolves. We just need to raise our intensity a little bit, and that's exactly what we did in the second half, man. Credit to the boys. That's exactly what we did in the second half. That's why the title of this video, title of this video, it wasn't an utterly convincing performance, but it was a deserved result, man. I'm sure Wolves fans will probably say they should have taken something out of that game. And I don't blame them for saying that. But I mean, let's be real. Like when it came to creating meaningful opportunities at goal, like I don't think you can look at that game and tell me that Wolves were the ones that would have felt hard done by to lose that game. When you look at the openings we were able to manufacture versus the openings they were able to manufacture. But I want to shout out a couple players, man. I feel like second half, we started on smoke. Instantly, you could see that the energy levels that players were committing to the game had gone up levels. Yeah, they were penned in. They were penned in for the first 5-6 minutes. I think we had one attempt in the first half, and by minute 52 or something like that, or 53, we had already had 5 attempts. So we had had what, like 4 attempts in around 7 minutes, one of which hit the crossbar of Harry Kane, courtesy of a Kulusevski delivery. As per, he was class. He was class. The guy, the boy is quality, mate. The boy is quality. There's no doubt about it. The guy is brilliant, man. He was chefing the hell out of Ait Nori on that right hand side, man, cooking him. we laid siege to their goal in the second half, man. Like, well, in the early minutes of the second half, and I'm not even trying to say as if like we were all battering them, but we were firmly on top, firmly on top. And I think Bruno Lage even knew that. He made two substitutions on 59 minutes. He brought on Jimenez to try and give our defense something different to think about, and he brought on Dendoncker. Why would he bring on Dendoncker if he didn't fear that we were getting closer and closer to scoring? And yet it didn't deter us. It didn't deter us at all, man, because we went up and scored, I think like 3 or 4 minutes later. But yeah, man, we did our thing, man. I just want to read off some statistics, man. In the second half, we had what, 10 attempts in total, 9 inside the box, 3 on target, hit the woodwork twice. So that was Kane hitting the crossbar and Son hitting the post with his shot. We created what, like 2, 3 genuine opportunities. I look at genuine scoring opportunities. I look at the Kane header from Kulusevski that hit the crossbar. I'm not going to say the Son shot that hit the post because I think that was quite a tight angle. But I look at Davinson Sanchez's header. I think that one that was cleared off the line. I look at the ball that Harry Kane floated to Son that had him 1v1. Had he been able to trap the ball better, then he would have been able to work Jose Sarr before I think Kilman got to the ball. He was really good today as well. But second half, yeah, he was good. He was good. Kilman and Collins, they were good. They were good. But yeah, man, we had openings. Then of course the goal, the vital goal, man. Um, the corner, the corner even happens from Perisic getting that ball on that left hand side, driving, batters Johnny Otto, step over, bang, goes past Johnny Otto, and then tries to flash across into the box, and it's blocked by Collins, who again had a good game, had a really good game. But he switched off, unfortunately. He switched off against the best striker in the league and he got punished. Set piece, scoring from another set piece again. So that's now 2 games in the trot now where we scored from set pieces. Son whips a corner in. Perisic gets the vital flick on, and Kane nods in with his head to get his 250th goal for Spurs. And that's 2 assists in 2 for Perisic. And I feel like at that point in time, nobody can say that the goal was undeserved. Nobody could say that the goal wasn't coming. The goal was absolutely coming because we were knocking and knocking and knocking on the door and had them penned in as much as we could. Yeah. Second half, the energy levels went up significantly. The pressing was way more purposeful. Wolves were suffocated at times, and we actually started forcing them to make mistakes. I think they turned over the ball, like 5 or 6 times in the second half in comparison to like once in the first half. And that's due to the pressure we put on them. Yeah. We pressed even higher. We pressed higher. Kulusevski pressed higher. Son pressed higher. Kane pressed higher. Bentancur pressed higher. Him and Højbjerg, the performance improved Bentancur, certainly his performance improved in the second half. But I felt like where Højbjerg was better than Bentancur in the first half, Bentancur was better than Højbjerg in the second half. Because Højbjerg, it's mad. He made some nice passes and he did work much harder, but I felt like his touch was heavy all game. All game. I felt like his touch was heavy all game. Well, all second half, should I say? Like just chasing his own touch was bizarre. But yeah, man, it was a good second half. I must say, it wasn't elite, but it was a good second half, man. And I felt like it was good to see that the same team that didn't perform in the first half could do that to Wolves, because at halftime, understandably, there was a lot of criticism to the team because they had to do better. And even with the win, there are a couple of players who I'm going to discuss. Some I've already mentioned that need to just pull their finger out and actually perform better. We can't have slow starts like that. But in the second half, we did our thing, man. We did our thing. I just want to shout out Perisic, man. How did we get this guy for free? He's so good. Even in the first half when we weren't good, he digs out that cross out of nothing, and gives us the opportunity to get our first shot of the game, courtesy of a Kane header on his left foot. The guy is so good. He's such an athlete. Like, he doesn't stop making those runs. He doesn't stop running. Defensively as well, he made 2 or 3 good challenges in isolated situations against Neto. Sucked the ball back and got us on the move. I don't think he lost a single aerial duel. I need to check that, but every single ball that was in the air to duel for, he was more often than not winning all the challenges. And then going forward, mate, 2 assists into the ability to take on plays, the ability to use his left foot, to use his right foot. The guy's class, man. Just, he's different class. And the levels are staggering in possession when you look at what he's offering versus what Cesc offers. He's so good. So good. And it's no surprise that he's got an involvement in the goal, man. That's what we brought him for, to be the difference maker in those situations. And it's just hilarious because I was told that Perisic doesn't move the needle for Spurs. Well, there you have it. 2 games that we lost last season. He gets the vital assist for one of the games that we drew against Chelsea, and then he gets another vital assist for a game that we're going to win against Wolves. But apparently, I was told, you don't move the needle by 1 or 2 people. You know who you are. You know who you are. But yeah, man, I felt like Perisic and Kulusevski lifted us in that second half. Jermaine Genius gave man of the match to Højbjerg. No chance. For me, the man of the match was Kulusevski. The guy's class. They tried to bring on Semedo. He was still jugging. He was still jugging. He was still doing what he wants to do. You try and close off the inside, he will go on the outside. I think that was one of the most encouraging things. Sat there in my seat, I was like, raw, like Bruno Lage is trying everything he can here to change the game in his favor. And they weren't bad subs to make. Hwang, Jimenez, then Donker, Adama Traore, and and Semedo. Like for them, those are pretty good options to have off the bench. And yet they didn't really change the outcome of the game. Well, to be fair to Jimenez, I felt like he came on and he did give our defense a lot more to think about. I think he was winning. He was winning most of his aerial duels over Eric Dyer, and there was a moment in the second half where he broke into the box. I think Dyer lunged in, and I can't remember what happened after that move, but we dealt with most of the changes that they tried to make. Then Donko was brought on to shore up the defense, and yet we were still able to create chances. We were still able to create chances, even up until the end. We had good moments as well. Yeah, I think we deserved to win that game. Wasn't a battering, but we did enough to win. And right now, 7 points out of 9. We know there's room for improvement, but 7 points out of 9, we'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. We'll take it. Harry Kane, I already mentioned 250 goals for Spurs, 185 in the Premier League. He is now the 4th outright all-time Premier League goal scorer. Won't he deliver? People can talk about this guy's record in finals, even though he's not had the opportunity to play in that many finals. Oh, he's this, he's that. I'll tell you what he is. He's world class. He's ice cold. He's clutch. That's what he is. Don't listen to none of these Twitter weirdos who tell you he's not clutch because he ain't won a trophy and he's not performed well in finals. He is clutch. He's clutch personified. In big games, in small games, in medium games, this guy delivers, and he's not even playing at 100%. And I don't mean in fitness, I mean in terms of performance. Because in the first half today, he wasn't great. Second half, it improved for sure, much better. But he's not even playing at full tilt, and he's 2-3 for the season. The guy is class, man. He's class. Me personally, if he can stay fit throughout the season, I'm expecting him to go level with Wayne Rooney. I think Wayne Rooney is the second all-time Premier League goal scorer on 208 Premier League goals. If he can stay fit this season, I'm expecting him to go level with Wayne Rooney by the end of the season. The guy's class. Harry Class A, as expression says. World class. World class. Collins had him. Collins defended really well against him today. Didn't give him room to maneuver, but move to feint as if he's going one way and bang, just bamboozled Collins. And before you know it, goal. Elite striker. Elite striker, bro. Mate, he's one of our own, man. And honestly, so I may sound like I'm waffling here, but it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to see this guy play week in, week out for Spurs. It really is. Like, I feel like because he's been doing what he's been doing for years and he hasn't won the trophies, he doesn't really get the plaudits. Yeah, he's got the most goals for any striker at a single club in the Premier League. Like, are we overlooking this? 185 Premier League goals. 185. The guy's insane, man. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. We've genuinely got a unicorn. We don't know how good we've got it. In fact, I think we do. Because I'll tell you this for free. When it's all said and done and we were past the Harry Kane stage, we're gonna miss having a player like him. A player who can be so ruthless in the box and a player who can be so effective outside the box. He's class. He's class. Shout out to Davinson Sanchez as well. Of course, I mentioned his Boza moment in the first half, but defensively today he was good. He barely put a foot wrong. I felt like he did well to track his runners. Yeah, made some good interceptions today. Yeah, he was good. He was the best for me. He was the best performer defensively today. I thought he did well. I thought he did well. Yeah, we move, man. 3 points in the bag. Nottingham Forest next. Clean sheet, our first clean sheet of the season. We move. We move, we move, we move. But listen, it would be it wouldn't be me if I didn't mention the negatives. I have to mention the negatives. That's just who I am. Yeah. We talk about the positives. Let's mention the negatives. Now, I mentioned how poor we were in the first half, how we have to improve. Yeah. I think some of the culprits, Son. His son, we know this guy. He's a top class forward. He's a world class finisher. World class finisher. Not player, world class finisher. We know that Son is a tremendous player. But we also know that Son has moments in the season where when he stinks, he stinks. When he's not playing well, it's like a legit 2 out of 10. There's no in between with Son. He's either really, really good or he's really, really bad. And he's really, really good for long spells, and then he's really, really bad for medium spells, then he's really, really good for long spells. Son is going to come back to life. We know this. Son's going to hit form soon, and then it will be off for the season. But for the time being, he needs to improve. I felt today his movement was off. I felt today his his back to goal play isn't great on the best of days anyway, but he just wasn't really involved in today's game. And I felt like when he was involved, he was doing things to the detriment of Spurs, losing the ball, careless in possession, yeah, not pressing the player when we need them, when we need a press, losing the duels 50-50s. And this wasn't just him as well. In the first half, I think they won. In the first half, they won double the amount of duels we did. Even basic stuff like 50-50s, we were getting dominated in that respect in the first half. But it wasn't just Son, although he needs to improve. Ben Davies, I felt he defended well today, but his use of the ball, it's got to be better. In our back line, even when Romero is fit, we don't have a defender who is high volume when it comes to a switch of play or long ball accuracy. We had Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen. We were blessed with two elite centre backs who were not only comfortable with the ball at their feet but could play out. Jan Vertonghen was more of a dribbler, but he could pass on the ground and in the air if he needed to. And Alderweireld, for like 2-3 seasons straight, this guy had like 90% pass accuracy, long ball accuracy. His switch of play was marvelous. He would catch teams out with his passing. And now it will be it's almost a good it's almost a good day out for us if we get even like 5 or 6 accurate passes collectively across our back line. It needs to improve. It needs to improve big time because Dyer and Davies today, their use of the ball was poor, very, very poor. Today, Eric Dyer was not good, and I don't think I've been able to say that a lot over the past couple of months because he has been a reliable performer for Conte, but today he wasn't good. He was not good, and he needs to improve. I'm interested to see what Longley can offer when he comes into this team because I feel like that's where he's better than Davies and Dyer. He can be a better distributor. In fact, he is a better distributor of the ball than both of these guys. So I'm interested to see what he can offer us because I feel like for Spurs to take the next step, we need to have a player in that defense who's easily able to switch that ball from left to right. And I think this supports the point that me and many Spurs fans know we need another centre-back. We need another centre-back who's an upgrade on what we've got right now, who can not only do the dirty work defensively, but can give us the qualities that we're lacking in possession and can open up games for us in the way that we need through that passing. And even though it's not even just passing, when they're being pressed, the bravery to not go back, to not be cowardice. Yeah, the bravery to play through a press and then make a line-breaking pass and get Spurs on the move. Yeah, we need that level of quality in a centre-back that's going to come into this club. Emerson Royale. again, I think he did. I think he did well defensively. Guedes, I feel like one or two moments in the first half where he looked threatening, but for the most part, I feel like we kept him under wraps. I don't think he was awful. I don't think he was bad, but I just felt like when we had to defend against him, we defended relatively well. Yeah, Emerson Royale, I think he's proven to me. I said this on Twitter. He's proven to me that he can defend. He can defend. He can defend. Yeah. He's proven it against big sides. He's proven it against small sides. But what he can't do is play this ball going forward. And that is why he needs to be sold. Yeah. Okay, great, Emerson. You've proved to me that you can defend. I'll give you that. Yeah. I'll go as far to say that you can defend. But can you bring us some quality going forward? No. And if he does, it's a rarity. It's a fluke. It's a fluke or rarity, sorry. Because this guy, man, we saw against Southampton, when it comes off, it's good, but it's very rare and fleeting. Today, dribbling with the ball, he would lose it. Crosses, you see the difference between Perisic. Even when he's getting marked, even when he's on the back foot, he can still get his crossing. Emerson rarely gets his crossing. And when he does get his crossing, it's never accurate. There was one in the second half. Conte lost his marbles. We had two players waiting for the ball in the box. And it's an easy cutback. And he just misses both players with his cross. Yeah, I know he had an interview that came out on Spurs Play. I've not watched it yet, but a lot of people are saying, yeah, he seems a nice guy. I'm sure he is a nice guy. He's building up a good relationship with Richarlison and Lucas Moura, but this ain't a playground. Yeah? This ain't a playground. This ain't Quasar. If you lot know what Quasar is, this ain't Quasar. This ain't lunchtime. This is a football club, man. And we're trying to do serious things this season. And if we're trying to do serious things this season, we need to have better players in this XI. And we need to have players like Emerson respectfully out of this club. Conte likes him, so it looks like he's not going anywhere this season. But we just have to hope that Jed Spence shows his quality and can get up to speed as quickly as possible. Jed Spence, please let your football do the talking, because we need someone who is much better offensively than Emerson, because he can defend us. But then you have like Doherty on the bench, or Doherty, for instance. Yeah, he's much better than Emerson going forward, but he can't defend like Emerson. So we just need someone like Spence who can give us that balance of both. Yeah. Midfield as well. Yeah, they improved in the second half, but I wasn't impressed with our midfield pairing today. I love both of them. I love Bentancur. I love Højbjerg. But I don't think they gave a good account of themselves today. Yeah, they had decent performances either side of the half, but they need to improve. Why do we have to let the opposition trample all over us for them to start taking more risks with the ball, start being braver in their press, start putting more energy into their performances, start playing that ball forward more often than not instead of sideways? I get it. Conte at times, I feel like his tactics are to blame. In teams where we want to try and be a bit more expansive, but we're playing up against a team who have better technicians in the middle, I feel like it would make more sense for us to just match them numerically, or at the very least, play someone like Bissouma who can cover big spaces better than Bentancur and Højbjerg, and can be trusted in possession as well. So I would like to see Bissouma come into this team soon. I think he needs to be starting games. This is the long review. Well, I say long. It's coming up to 30 minutes, so I'm gonna finish it off now. So I hope you're still watching, please. And if you are, make sure you smash a like. Yeah. But yeah, like I felt like our midfield, they needed to kick up their butt from Conte today, and I think he gave them that, and they improved in the second half in parts. Even though Højbjerg, I do think his performance was a bit up and down in the second half. But Bentancur certainly improved. Like Bentancur's a good player. I think Højbjerg, he's a decent player. I think he's been one of our strongest performers this calendar year, but they were just both poor today. And that's what Bissouma is there for, right? by all accounts in the Premier League, we know Bissouma is probably our best midfielder. So Conte, what are you waiting for? Give him an opportunity. Let him come into the team. Let him come into the team. And then I spoke on Son, but I'm going to speak on a player who could potentially take his spot, Richarlison. He came on today and he looked bright, man. He looked bright. There was a moment where he was isolated, him v 3 Wolves players, and he beat one of them, drove with the ball. And then there was a fourth player that came to cover. And eventually he lost the ball, but not for a lack of trying, and took us up the pitch single-handedly. Like, he had some really good touches today. I think he's doing the right things, and I think his opportunity to start a game is getting closer and closer. It all depends on Son, to be honest. We play Nottingham Forest next. It's an away game. It's at a ground we've not played at in yonks. I imagine because of the atmosphere at that ground, Conte is gonna want to go with his tried and trusted, and I think Son will start that game. But I do think that if Son isn't on job that game, then we could see Richarlison make his full home debut against Fulham. He's certainly going to come on, even if Son plays well or not. He's certainly going to come on against Nottingham Forest. So, yeah, he looked good today. And I feel like his start is getting closer and closer and closer. And I think his goal will come soon as well. Sessegnon as well. Even when he came on today, I felt at this time I didn't really get the substitution from Conte, but then it made sense because they had brought on Adama Traore and Perisic. He's still getting up to speed. I think maybe his energy levels are fading. So a faded Perisic up against Adama Traore is a recipe for disaster. I felt like Sessegnon came on and did really well against Adama Traore. Didn't really let him do what he does. Yeah. And then when he did find his crosses, way too overcooked as per. People will say he just came back from injury, but I mean, there's no difference between that Adama and the Adama that I see when he's 100% match fit. It's the reason why I didn't want him at Spurs. But Sessegnon, credit to him, he came on defensively, he did his job. Of course, he was aided by a few others, but I'm glad that we swarmed Adama Traore every single time he had the ball and made sure that there were bodies ready to block him and pick up the ball and get us moving. So all in all, unconvincing win, but a deserved win. That's it from me. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. What did you think of the performance? Who were your big performances? Who were your worst performances? What do you think about the starting 11? What do you think about what we still need to do in the window? What do you think? I've mentioned the need for a centre-back. I think we could do with another midfielder. For me, I would like to see two players come in. We saw Conte's post-match conference today. Sorry, well, let me get my words out. Where he said that for sure, if one player is leaving, aka Brian Hill, he expects another to come in, and he's spoken to the club about this. And of course, we've been linked with Malinowski, so I guess we got to watch that space. But me personally, I want that centre back, man. I think a centre back and a player like Malinowski takes this window from a 7 to a higher rating, give it maybe like an 8 or 8.5, depending on the type of signing. If it's a really good centre back, then it could be higher. But we need another centre back for sure. But anyway, people, it's Tobs here, signing out.